You sit down at your desk, check your lighting, and log in for a final interview. But instead of a smiling hiring manager on the other side of the screen, you are greeted by an AI avatar. You deliver a well-practiced introduction, close your mouth, and wait. The avatar doesn't nod. It doesn't smile. You are met with complete, unbroken silence. We are biologically wired to use facial feedback as a social metronome. In a normal conversation, the other person nods, allowing us to gauge our pacing and rhythm. With an automated system, that feedback loop flatlines. The human brain interprets this total lack of feedback as a literal social threat. Approaching this gatekeeper as a human looking for an emotional connection is a fatal error that sets you up for failure. Reacting to that perceived threat, candidates try to force the machine to respond. They whisper, they comment on the weather, or they nervously ramble to fill the void. All that extra talking acts like conversational mud. It buries the actual professional experience you logged on to share. Charisma and casual banter work in a physical boardroom, but against a remote algorithm, they're irrelevant. Highly qualified professionals fail these interviews because they attempt to speak in emotional language to a system built to process structured data. Behind the avatar, the AI operates as a lightning-fast transcription machine. It functions like a digital highlighter, scanning your spoken words in real time. It evaluates your answers based on semantic density. The algorithm pans for high-signal data, the gold, while letting the low-signal fluff wash away. Saying something like, "That is a good question," might massage a human recruiter's ego, but to the natural language processor, it registers as zero useful information. It is wasted breath. The processor strips away nervous stutters and emotional filler. The mud dissolves away, isolating your specific action verbs and factual nouns. Those high-signal words are the only metrics that matter. They lock into the grading rubric to calculate your proficiency score. The machine is blind to your shaking hands. It grades only the raw data points surviving in your speech. That data dependency creates a mechanical trap, voice activity detection. When hit with a complex question, your natural instinct is to stare at the ceiling and solve the problem quietly in your head. After a few seconds of unbroken silence, the software assumes you are finished speaking. The microphone shuts off, skipping you to the next question and locking in a failing grade for that prompt. To beat the detection software, you have to adopt the technique of speaking to pause. Instead of thinking quietly, narrate your internal chain of thought out loud. Use phrases like, "Let me take a moment to structure my approach," to keep the audio feed active. By narrating your hesitation, you keep the connection alive while proving your methodical reasoning directly to the algorithm. This structured approach turns common interview advice, like the STAR method, situation, task, action, result, into a strict operational protocol. Relying on a wandering story creates chaos for the parser. Framing your answer into these distinct geometric blocks is a mathematical necessity. You are formatting your own thoughts into code. You have to keep that formatting tight. Because the AI has a flawless memory of every word on your resume, it will use your structured answers to instantly generate hyper-specific follow-up questions. While you cannot fake your way out of these targeted loops, you can confidently ask the AI to clarify its prompt. This buys you time to think while demonstrating that you define problems before you solve them. Forcing your thoughts into a machine-readable sequence exposes every vague assumption in your narrative. By the time you satisfy the algorithm's demand for data, you have trained yourself to eliminate logic gaps, a skill that makes your communication more precise.